After years of hard work, I finally built my dream ranch house. It sat peacefully on my private property, just outside an upscale HOA neighborhood. Life was simple, quiet, and exactly how I wanted it. Everything changed after I left town for 1 week. I needed to travel for a few days to attend an important business meeting. Before leaving, I secured my property and informed my property manager. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. It was supposed to be an uneventful trip. Unknown to me, the HOA board had been discussing neighborhood development plans. They believed my property was somehow connected to their subdivision. Unfortunately, assumptions are never a substitute for facts. Proper research always matters. Karen became convinced that my property created a problem for their future plans. She believed removing obstacles would simplify matters. Unfortunately, she never consulted the county records. That mistake would become very expensive. Construction crews were hired based on incomplete information. Professional contractors typically rely on permits and legal authorization before beginning work. Documentation is critical for any project. Questions should always be asked before action is taken. My property boundaries were clearly marked and properly recorded. Every legal document accurately reflected ownership. The information was publicly available. It simply wasn't reviewed. Several workers immediately noticed inconsistencies in the paperwork. Questions began circulating about ownership and authorization. Responsible professionals always verify legal documentation. Those questions came too late. Hundreds of miles away, I had no idea what was happening at home. My business trip was going exactly as planned. Sometimes, unexpected problems arise when you least expect them. One phone call changed everything. My property manager immediately contacted me after noticing unusual activity. Construction equipment had arrived at my property. Something was terribly wrong. I booked the earliest flight home. The photographs I received were almost impossible to believe. My beautiful ranch home had been severely damaged during unauthorized demolition activities. I knew the situation would require immediate legal action. The real story was only beginning. I arrived home expecting answers, but nothing could prepare me for what I saw. My dream home was gone. Years of hard work had been reduced to rubble in just a few days. That moment changed everything. The sheriff immediately began documenting the scene. Every piece of equipment and every document will become important evidence. Property rights are protected by law. Proper investigations always begin with facts. My attorney requested certified county records immediately. Ownership documents clearly showed that the property belonged solely to me. There was no HOA authority over my land. The legal consequences were beginning to take shape. Karen insisted that the HOA had acted in the community's best interests. Unfortunately, confidence does not replace legal ownership. Property disputes are decided by facts and documentation. Those documents told a very different story. Investigators began reviewing every permit associated with the demolition project. Questions quickly emerged regarding authorization and legal compliance. Proper procedures exist for a reason. Skipping them creates serious consequences. Structural engineers carefully documented the damage. Their reports would help determine the full scope of the property's loss. Accurate evaluations are critical during legal proceedings. Every detail matters. Standing on the foundation where my home once stood was difficult. Memories cannot be replaced overnight. A house is more than wood and stone. It's where your life happens. Independent surveyors officially confirmed my property's legal boundaries once again. Their findings matched every certified county document. Ownership had never been in question. Only assumptions had created confusion. My legal team carefully organized every piece of evidence. Documentation would ultimately determine the outcome. Preparation is one of the strongest tools available in court. Facts are difficult to dispute. Soon, the dispute entered the courtroom. Both sides would have the opportunity to present their evidence. Property law takes ownership rights very seriously. Justice begins with the truth. The court reviewed decades of property records and expert testimony. Every document supported the same conclusion. Ownership had always been legally established. The facts spoke clearly. Experts calculated the costs associated with rebuilding the home and restoring the property. Their professional evaluations helped establish the full extent of the damages. Restoration requires time, planning, and resources. Accountability matters. The courtroom remained focused entirely on evidence and legal responsibility. Every party had the opportunity to present their position respectfully. The judicial process exists to resolve disputes fairly. Facts remain the foundation of justice. Months of preparation and legal proceedings finally brought clarity to the situation. Protecting your rights often requires patience and persistence. Proper documentation can make all the difference. The truth always matters. Losing a home is never easy, but protecting what you've earned is worth fighting for. Property ownership comes with both rights and responsibilities. Preparation, professionalism, and persistence helped uncover the truth. Home is always worth rebuilding.